So Scott, if you want to talk a little bit about the 2012 Merlot.
The Merlot is, it's about 23.5 bricks when it comes in. It's about 13.9 in alcohol, so it coordinates with your residual sugar, converts over to alcohol during the fermentation. The yeast I used on this one was a pasture red, which is a very common red wine yeast that we use. pH was about 3.4 onto it. It was a nice cool fermentation on this. The grapes were very clean, very crisp when they come in, and I kept it around 60 to 63 degrees during fermentation on this. People have heard my other talks about red wines. We do the fermentation on the skins. That way then you get the colors from the grapes. The longer you leave it on the skins, the darker characteristics you're going to get from it, the more tannins that you're going to get onto it. So this one here, about 20 days is where I seemed like it was really where I wanted it. And then 20 days we took it out and pressed it, and it came out like this. Very nice, very smooth.
Yep. Very, very beautiful color.
It's one of the most impressed Merlots that I've done yet. Here at the
and you're getting, it's being very well received.
Yes. The San Francisco Chronicle got very good reviews.
Gold medal.
Gold medal out of, what was it, 5,840 entries.
And it's won medals everywhere we've put it.
Yep. Exactly.
And if you'll notice, you were sort of talking a little bit about the pump overs and getting the color out of the skins. It's an absolutely beautiful, rich, dark. You know, sometimes a lot of reds have more of like a garnet or a ruby color. This is like a rich, deep purple. And that's just all coming from the skins and the pump overs. And
it's got nice tobacco aroma to it.
Lots of dark red fruits too to go with it. Interestingly enough, some little tidbits on Merlot, because a lot of people know a lot of things about Merlot. It's one of the most popular wine grapes and wines consumed in the country. But interestingly enough, you probably know that it is from France. It's one of the 5 grapes from Bordeaux. But interestingly enough, I came across this. I thought this was kind of cool. The name Merlot is thought to be a derivative of Merle. I may not be pronouncing that correctly, but it's the French name for blackbird, which is probably in reference to the color of the grape on the vine, because it's a very, very dark black color.
When it comes in, as soon as you squeeze the grapes, you can almost stain your hands almost immediately from it when you're crushing it up in your hands to see what the colors. A lot of people, when they're out in the vineyards, when they're getting ready for harvest, that's actually what they'll do is they'll take some berries and they'll crush them up in their hands and they rub them across like a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper or something like that, just to see what your colors are that you're going to get out of it once you're going through fermentation.
Right, and that's probably one of the reasons that you get just this really, really deep, rich, purpley grape color, kind of like how you would imagine a red grape. You know, even when you look at a red grape in the store or anything like that, it's literally that color in the glass. And Merlot is popular for being very sort of soft and fruity, very approachable. I think this Merlot is exactly that.
You get a lot of good berry characteristics on it. Very smooth on the tannins.
Very nice, soft tannins.
Another thing that I do with these to make it the soft tannins into it, I do a malolactic fermentation, which will soften up the acids in the wine. Makes it nice and smooth.
But one of the things I think is so special about this Merlot is while it's soft, it has nice tannins, it has nice acid, it still has a lot of its own sort of body and interest. It's not just sort of soft and fruity with nothing to it. It has a very nice backbone.
Right in the center of the palate. Some like your other reds and stuff like that, it's more in the back of the palate. This is right in the center.
Nice balance. It's not too heavy on the alcohol. It definitely stands up on its own. It's delicious.
You can pair it with almost anything, really.
Right, and because it has a really nice sort of acid and tannin component, it does allow it to be paired with lots of, you could pair it with, the versatility of this is just probably unbelievable. It would go from cheeses to grilled meats. You could even do it with some grilled fish. Yeah. Things like that.
Something you're doing blackened or something like that. You're doing some salmon.
Absolutely. And Scott's very modest, but in addition to the gold medal that this wine it's also received medals in every competition we've entered it. It's received a couple different silver medals, Finger Lakes, Dallas Wine Competition, which is another very large competition. It received a silver, and then it's received medals from, this one's probably all told maybe 6 medals at this point.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And I think one of the reasons that it has been so well received is that even though it is a Merlot, it's a very, very well done wine.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.